Okay, in this short video presentation, I'm going to introduce you to parts of the syllabus so that you better understand the course and you're able to complete the syllabus exercise assignment no later than September 16th. The main thing here is that this is an asynchronous course, and I know during this time there's a lot of different words being thrown around now about how you meet. So the basic idea here is that there's no regular weekly meetings at a set time and date. However, because this doesn't work for everybody, I am offering both special Zoom sessions at specific times, and then also those will be recorded and then shared on YouTube and the course website. And you can also stop in during office hours to ask me any questions as well. I just want to make sure that you have as many options as possible getting in contact with me if you're having trouble. So you can always email me. And I can also set up a one-on-one time to meet with you. This course is at John Jay. This course is called The Judiciary. At Kingsborough, we're going through the process of a name change. Right now it's American Legal System and Courts. And basically the best way to think about this course is it's about judges who obviously are important in the court system. So that's how you're kind of thinking, what's it like to think like a judge or a lawyer? What's it like to have a relationship with the other aspects of democratic practice? And then how does this kind of differ from some other ways of looking at the world? And as you'll see, this class is typically taken in your third semester, although it's usually actually generally offered at the junior level. So we're giving you this class now, you see in the sequence of classes, along with constitutional law, so that you don't have to take those at John Jay. So you're getting them done now, and that's, again, fairly unusual, but I think I've done a good job in helping to frame the class in a way that is accessible to freshmen and sophomores as well. So what I've done here with the reader, and if you're in my constitutional law class, or if you'd like to save money on your textbooks, you can enroll in my constitutional law class next semester, is I use the same reader, but we focus on different parts of the book in order to get deeper into understanding how the court system works, as opposed to the larger issues of constitutional law. So this includes case excerpts, social science readings, context that's relevant to you. As I kind of think about this, minority authors and culturally responsive practices are represented in this book, and so they receive a portion of your payment. Any portion that I receive, which is a pretty small amount, but it's enough to help pay for student research assistants who actually designed a lot of this content. Help me think about which content would be important, especially hearing back from students who transferred to John Jay and then offered their insights. And then also it gives you high quality content, which typically would cost over $300. But I've done the work here along with my co-editor, Helen Margaret Nasser, in order to bring this down to under $70. So that's basically what the reader is, why you need it, and how it's relevant to your practices. So, a lot of times students want to know how their grade will be determined, so I've introduced that right here up front. You'll get a week 3 grade, which will give you just a snapshot of how you're doing up to that point. So through week 3, you'll get it in your 4th week. This is only 5% of your grade. I don't want to, discourage you in any way. I just want to let you know kind of how you're doing in those 3 major activities. The bigger portion that you should be thinking of early on is this draft of the paper that I'm going to ask you to write about your concepts of sovereignty, and that will be 10% of your grade for just the draft. So you don't need to stress about grammar, copy editing, or anything. I really just want to look at your ideas for the draft that you have to turn in before you can take the midterm. If you get that done in week 3, feel free to send it to me. Otherwise, just make sure you get it done before the midterm, which I believe is in week 6. But I'll send you announcements to remind you. Your midterm grade will be based on the exam itself, and then all the activities, assignments, and participation up to that point. So that will include the first 3 weeks worth of assignments as well. So you can see this is kind of cumulative. Or if you did well in the week 3 grade and you continue to do your work, you'll probably do well at the midterm grade. If you struggled in your week 3 grade, you can make it up through your midterm grade. And then finally, I spelled assignments creatively. The assignments and participation grade will follow the midterm. I think it's in week 7. And this will be a bigger chunk of your grade at that point, because these assignments will be helping prepare you for the final exam. So up to the midterm, you kind of get the major concepts and the processes, and then now I'm helping you prepare for the final exam. So I really want you to put as much effort as you possibly can after the midterm, assuming that you kind of have that first part taken care of. And if you don't, we can talk around that time. Then you'll be revising your final draft based on the feedback that I give you, based on some of the resources I'll provide to you, and then based on what grade you got at the midterm time. Then you'll get another assignment and participation grade that will then be 10%, which will be the difference between the 7th week one and then the one later on. So as you see, I'm kind of trying to reward you for continuing to churn in your assignments in a timely manner and thoughtfully. And then finally, the final exam will be 25% of your grade, and by that point, hopefully you'll be, completely ready and moving on with your life. Do you have to do all of the assignments? No, I'm not going to punish you. As you saw, you can miss a few assignments and you'll still get a decent grade. From my experience, students who do all of the assignments kind of get into a flow, and so they tend to do better and tend to get A's, or at least B's, B pluses. Really, the assignments help you understand the cases, and so it will be a lot harder to apply your knowledge in the final exam and midterm exam if you don't do the assignments. So that's why I encourage you, even if you do them late, to go ahead and do them so you kind of get that knowledge. And then this really just shows me that you understand connections between the criminal justice system and the legal cases, and connections to some of the main ideas that you'll be working with. And then also that you'll be able to see what differences actually matter, what differences make a difference. Now, getting to the work, you're going to have, as you see over here on this right-hand side, a PDF, and then you've got hyperlinks. If you click, right, then you'll get to these different parts of the assignment, and there's different types of assignments. As I said, everyone needs to do the diagnostic, so I have a good idea of what your pre-existing knowledge is, and that's what I'm largely measuring your grade against, so that you're individually graded as opposed to, randomly and kind of finish line approach. The very first case that you're going to read is going to provide a very clear view of how a judge thinks about a case. So you'll want to read that one carefully, but really look into how is the judge deciding, what are they relying on. I then give you 4 web links that are really more about introductory processes and concepts. So you'll learn about the actors within the legal system, the levels of the judiciary, what an adversarial system and what other types of systems exist, and then what this concept of collegiality means. Then you'll complete the Google form assignment that shows me that you have basic reading comprehension and you're able to apply the knowledge that you learned in this first week. And then you'll review the essay instructions, and then hopefully you'll start getting to work on just drafting and doing any independent research that you need to at that point. There are a number of supports for success, and I can help with whatever you need here. I've divided these up into 3 categories. So there's course support, things like accessibility, the Commons website I designed, using the library, writing center, tutoring, all these different things. I can provide more information, and then in the syllabus, there's hyperlinks to some of those activities. Now the website, Kingsborough's website, is changing, so if any of those links aren't working, I'll try to find the updated ones for you. There's also supposed to be Blackboard access to many of these things. So I'll share that over the Blackboard announcements as we go. Now there's also life support services. So there's things like ASAP, right? They have, if you're an ASAP, you know about that. There's emergency funds available. There's the Access Resource Center, which kind of provide a variety of resources, including immigration law and tax prep, and benefits screening, all sorts of great stuff. And then there's also engagement resources like the Student Union and Intercultural Center, Student Life, career programming, and then things we offer through the criminal justice program. So, if you're interested in any of these, let me know, or I will be sharing these resources through Blackboard announcements. So your next steps are pretty straightforward. You're going to go into Blackboard, get used to it, pay special attention to announcements and course content, and then also the grade book, as those will be the things that I use the most. You'll complete the syllabus exercise, and the link will be provided in the announcements. I'll probably send that shortly. And then you'll complete the diagnostics and then the rest of the assignments in week 1 as you're able. Again, there's no penalty for most of the late work except for I really need the paper, and the midterm exam and the final exam would all need to be done on time in order for me to get you feedback. So thank you, and hopefully that provided a context of the class and of the syllabus so that you're able to answer effectively on the syllabus exercise.